Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Table Talk with your girl, C Bell here. I'm excited today. It is Thankful Thursday. You guys know I always want to thank you guys for joining the call. Thank you for being here. And I'm excited today for many reasons. First reason is that we are getting ready for the summit. So if you don't know, the summit is this upcoming Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 10 to 2. It is virtual. So if you have not purchased your ticket, you might want to go ahead and do that right now. Invite your family, invite your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, everybody, because you don't want anyone to miss this opportunity. I have some amazing speakers that are coming as I always do, but this one is pretty special because of where we are in our time, in our position. You know, with us now looking for land and have identified some areas of concern, and we want to when I say concern of concentration, that we have said maybe that's the right piece right there for right now. So we're looking and we're going to try to lock that down, and more information on that is to come. But today, one of my very special guests is coming from Indiana. I met this attorney, Crystal Johnson, in New Orleans when we were there last month for the big tax sale. So I'm going to introduce you to her. If there's anybody on the call from New Orleans, you guys probably know who she is, but I want to welcome her to the floor. Attorney Johnson, hello and welcome to Table Talk.
Hello. Hi, how are you? Thank you for
Hi.
having me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for joining us. I know you're busy. I know I just heard you just came
Absolutely.
out of settlement and just came off of
Yes.
vacation. So I'm excited that you and grateful that you could just come over and share, come on the phone and share with us today. So thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I'm going to just get right into it because I know we only have 30 minutes and you are a busy lady. So I want to just kind of go back because we were in New Orleans together. And I know that
Hmm.
travel club, that investment club you've been rolling with for quite a long time. You're very familiar with the ins and outs, and you do your own thing in
Yes.
Indiana, where you're from, in
Hmm.
addition to whatever you have done in Louisiana. And I had an amazing time there. Next Level took about 15 investors down there. And I think most of us did well and came out with some property. So I'm going to
Hmm.
just let you share, what it is you do and how some of your clients have been so successful in purchasing these tax liens and building their portfolio, which ultimately gives them a great retirement. And they can just say bye bye to the employer and go sit down somewhere and do what you do, live life, right?
Yeah. So I am an attorney here in Lake County, Indiana. Well, throughout Indiana, period. But mainly I focus on the Lake County, Indiana tax sale. So Lake County, Indiana encompasses mostly Gary, Indiana, Maryville, Indiana, Crown Point, Indiana, Northwest Indiana. We are about 10 minutes away. We can get to Chicago in about 10 minutes, depending on where you want to go in Chicago. So it's very, very close to Chicago. So usually when people want to find something to do, we're like, okay, we're going to head to Chicago to have some fun because it's not a lot out here in Indiana.
Okay.
Um, we have a lot of blight in Gary. So a lot of
Mhm.
abandoned properties, because I don't know if you all are familiar with my city. I actually live in Gary. We have a steel mill. There was like a great, a lot of the white people just left. The steel mill started outsourcing. So a lot of our industry left. So we have a lot of abandoned properties here, and a lot of
Mhm.
properties that people are just saying, hey, I'm just going to leave them because they just don't want to be in Gary anymore. They can't find employment, things like that. So with our
Mhm.
tax sales here in Lake County in Indiana, we have two tax sales. We have a
Mhm.
treasurer sale and we have a commissioner sale. 80% of the
Mhm.
properties, about 80% of the properties are located in Gary. Let me tell you, Gary is going through the beginning stages of gentrification right now.
Mm.
So
Okay.
we're seeing, of course, there's a shortage of housing. There are a lot of people moving for Chicago because Chicago is very, very expensive. So they are
Mhm.
choosing to come to Indiana where it's a cheaper living.
Mhm.
But for us as investors that are here, we know that like we can get more of a bang for our buck for rent renting to Illinois residents and things like that. Does that make sense? Because maybe
It
they're used to paying 3,500 for a 3 bedroom, and we can get them into a 3 bedroom for 2,000. And 2,000 a month to us is like astronomical. So
good
it's a
money.
good time to be an investor. Let me just say that. So let me explain these two tax sales that we have here in Lake County, Indiana. We have that treasurer sale, which has a 1 year redemption period. It is a bid up sale. The bid starts off at the amount of taxes due. So that can be what it could be 150, it could be $1 million. It just depends on the delinquent taxes that the owner owes. Okay. 1 year
Mm-hmm.
redemption period, online sale, bid up sale. So if you bid, if it starts off at 1,500, someone bids 1,600, and that's the only highest bid out there, they'll win it for 1,600. Then we have a sale that's really popular, which is called our commissioner's tax sale. The commissioner's tax sale has only a 120-day redemption period. Yep,
Oh,
only 120 days. That
mm-hmm.
particular sale starts off at $500.
Mm-hmm.
$500 bid. It doesn't matter how much the taxes are on that property. It could be $100,000 doing that property. The bid will start off at $500. So that's a very, very popular sale. People come from everywhere to bid at that particular sale because I do have a lot of clients who have purchased properties for $500 and they sold them for 20,000.
I like that.
Yes, yes.
That's a
So
good return on your investment, right?
oh, it's crazy, and I know for sure because I'm helping them close these deals out. Because I know what they paid for them. Because I'm like, I could just look it up; it's public record.
Yes.
But
Yes.
regular people that don't know how to do that research, they don't know. They just want to get a property. We're getting a lot of like I just met with a gentleman. He's in the construction industry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mind getting these type of properties because he's not going to pay a lot for the labor. He's doing a lot of it himself with his own crew.
Exactly.
So, and he told me that he purchased a property for 10,000. I think he said he put about 55 into it. It sold for 215,000. Yeah.
That's a
So
win.
yes, it's a win. Now it's
Mm-hmm.
always pros to this, and it's
Mm-hmm.
always cons to it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
First of
Yes.
all, when if you win a property at the tax sale here in Lake County, Indiana, you want to make sure that you keep the grounds. If it's abandoned, you need to secure the property, right? So board
Mm-hmm.
it up. If you're not gonna do anything to it in soon, just board it up. Make sure the grass is cut so that you don't get any liens. And I'm sure that you've told your students about the due diligence, right? How
Yes.
to do
Yes.
their research on the properties and things like that. But I always tell people, make sure you have an exit strategy because you
Mm-hmm.
can really mess up. Even though you get a property for maybe pennies on a dollar, you can really get yourself in a lot of stuff if you don't do this correctly. Okay, so
Okay.
that's where I kind of teach a lot of people about it. As you said, I do have a class I teach, and I keep it real with everybody. Like, you may not be ready for this because
Okay.
you're owning another property, just like you own your own property. Now you have more responsibilities. So it's always good to network.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell people network. You got me, you have other people here. We're going to tell you, hey, that side of town, you probably don't want to, fool with that. It doesn't appreciate as high as this side of town and things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful that you all are interested and I'm willing to
Yes.
help you all out with anything that you want to do. But from my clients' successes, my clients have done very well at this sale. When they do exactly what I tell them to do, they've been doing phenomenal.
So,
Phenomenal.
Attorney General, let's talk a little bit about some of the liens that you're finding. When you say do your
Hmm.
due diligence, what
Uh-huh.
all does that entail so that we can get ready? Because as I talked to my club
Hmm.
on our call a couple weeks ago when we did some unpacking of what happened in New Orleans,
Hmm.
let's talk about some of the things that we can look for as we get ready to start thinking about coming to Indiana and going out
Right.
there to do it.
So here are the steps that I take when I do my due diligence. The first thing I want to do is find out how much are the taxes on that property. So how much are taxes every year? Because if I can't afford to pay $2,000 in taxes a year and the taxes are $10,000 on this particular property, I should not bid on that property. So that's number
Mhm.
one. You always got to know your numbers. So I always
Yes.
start with that. I want to know the condition of that property so that if you're not in that town, you would definitely want to go and have someone do boots on the ground. I prefer to do
Mhm.
my own boots on the ground. I want to see the property myself. Okay.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so you're looking for foundational issues, things like that. Now, the liens here in Indiana, a federal tax lien that is actually current, because you know
Mhm.
federal tax liens, they can be on your property for 20 years. All right.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
they file it, you have a 10-year period, and they can extend that period for another 10 years. Now, here's the thing. People say, well, those federal tax liens should go away because I'm the new purchaser. We have to think about this. When we're doing a tax sale, this is not a traditional sale, but it's still a sale of a property. If we purchased a property through a realtor, the traditional way, the
Mhm.
buyer would have to pay their tax lien at the closing table. Now we've assumed this property in a different way. So now we're
Mhm.
going to be responsible for the current federal tax lien. So when you get to that closing table and they say, well, there's a lien on here that needs to be paid, you can't find the owner. It's
What
going
do
to
you
be on
do?
you.
Mhm.
Or you got to deal with the IRS, which we all know if you deal with the IRS, because I do as well, that can be challenging.
Yes, it
So
can
now
be.
that holds you up from flipping that property,
Mhm.
financing that property. You're kind of stuck. So I always look at the recorder's record. Okay. So
Okay.
here in you can have grass liens. Usually those
Mhm.
municipal liens here in Indiana, they do not go
Mhm.
away.
Okay. How about the?
Demolition lien. If you see a demolition lien on there and there's the property standing and there's a demolition lien, something should click in your brain that, hey, this might not be standing too much longer. So I need to take action and
Yes.
let the municipality know that I have plans for this property and real plans. Because they don't
Mhm.
want you to just be saying, oh, I'm gonna fix it up and you don't get to it until 10 years. You have to have a real concrete plan for them because they're gonna hold you to that or they're gonna tear it down.
Okay. Now the
Okay.
water liens, we know the water liens go with the property. So as part of the due diligence, and I know you talked about the training because we'll talk more about that. But the water liens stay with the property. So all the liens that are attached to the property, we will be able to identify those liens before we actually say that's the one.
Hmm.
That's the one.
Yes.
And we did
Yes.
some due diligence boots on the ground in New Orleans, but I don't remember getting into that deep that the
We
fact
didn't
that
go that deep. And that's the reason why I was skeptical about bidding because I
uh-huh.
couldn't do an in-depth search like I wanted to do like I do here. But I
Uh-huh.
but I just stepped out on faith. Like,
Okay.
hey,
Uh-huh. Right.
hey,
Right.
$1,600, I'll do it. But I was very nervous because with my property in New Orleans, I didn't actually win that. Someone gave me I bought someone's lien
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
couldn't afford to pay for that lien.
Right. We did some of us did the same thing. And the strategy of the way it went down at that lottery auction is going to be different than what's going to happen in Indiana, and
Yes.
the redemption period is different because I know I picked up one in New Orleans, and I know I'm almost 99.9%. I feel like that owner's going to come back and pay that tax. It was a really nice big house, and I'm like, who would
Yes.
let that go for $2,300? But
Mm-hmm.
it just was one that came up. So I'm thinking, as we start to think about what other states that we want to travel to, and I don't know if you go to any of the other states, but I would like to go to states where the redemption period is not a long time.
Right.
I
Right.
want to put my money on the table. If I have to pay, whatever I have to pay, but I don't want to pay years of tax bills hoping that I get the property. And I know I'm going to get my money back, but I mean, I
Right.
can be turning that money someplace else, like flipping a
True.
house or whatever I do. And so that is something that is a concern, the redemption period and how long it's going to take us to actually get that property in our portfolio.
I totally agree. A 3-year
Okay.
redemption period is very long.
Mm-hmm.
But based on how their sale is, I'm going to go every year. I'm going to take my chances. I feel
Okay.
like if I throw a lot of next time I will bid and get more liens,
Okay.
so I'll
Okay.
get a
And I feel
better
the same way.
chance. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But
Yes,
I
dear.
mean, the thing is, sitting that money there is better than sitting in a savings account because the return on investment is, what, about 17% on your money. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, that's kind of like a CD, you know.
Okay.
And
Yes. A high
as you
paid
notice,
CD, right?
yeah. And as you notice, most of those liens were less than $5,000. Yeah, that's
Yes.
unheard of.
Yes, so basically what you're saying, okay, well, I go out down and I will be back next year because we did
Hmm.
some unpacking ourselves with our own internal group and we came up with some ideas for the club, honey. So we are
Yeah.
we're ready to rock and roll for New Orleans next year. But right now, I'm thinking if I have some dollars, some coins sitting in the bank,
Hmm.
earning very little interest, okay, I can take that monies, take it down there, but I don't know, let's just throw some spaghetti on the wall, see what sticks, and then
Yeah.
that money just sitting there waiting until it actually rolls out. So I get that too.
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
that
yeah,
too.
yeah. So we can do all of them. You can do the short redemption sales, long. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like Norvell says, by the time that 3 years comes around, then it's just rolling and rolling. These deeds are coming in, or the money, your money with interest is coming in. So I feel
Right.
like it's a win-win situation. And the thing that I love about the Louisiana sale is we don't have to send out notices until the redemption period is over. See, here in
Um,
Indiana, I have to send out notices before the redemption period. And when I tell you we send out notices, like we're doing everything we can to notify these owners because the statute makes sure that we have to do that. So we're sending out notices via certified mail, regular mail, and also my guys are posting the notices on the properties.
okay, so no knocking on doors though, because that's disturbing the peace. Or
Yeah, but like I said, most of these properties are empty though. But we
okay,
no, they
most
don't
of
they
them.
don't knock on doors. But
Okay,
my guys, if the owner's out there, they'll tape it on their head. They don't care. As long as they get Crystal's pictures,
okay,
they're gonna make sure that they notify as best they can. So that's
okay.
that's that's in Indiana. So but I think we have a better because I think in Louisiana they may forget that they owe the
Hmm.
taxes
Oh wow. Okay,
because they're not
okay,
getting a tax bill. We're getting a tax bill.
okay. So Attorney Johnson, how many tax sales do you attend a year? You said there's two in Indiana. You went to
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans. Do you go other areas of the country?
No, I don't. New Orleans, because Norvell was like, Crystal, you need to come down here. And I'm like, well, I need a little vacation. Like I said, I didn't really plan on bidding, period.
Okay.
My
Uh-huh.
friends, they wanted to bid. I didn't really want to bid. But now that my cherry is popped, I will be going other places. I think I'm going to go to Birmingham,
Oh,
and because Alicia's down there, Birmingham, Alabama, get some land. Hey, I'm with it now. I'm like,
oh
okay,
yeah.
I'm
We're
out of
all
my
about
comfort
the land.
zone.
We're
Yeah,
all about
because
the land. The
I've
development is in the air. We've been bit
yeah,
by the development bug. Yes.
because I've always been the type of person like I'm just gonna stay in my own backyard. I'm scared to get out. I'm
Hmm.
like you all. I started out very scared. A lot of newbies. I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't want to get a property. I just started off with an empty lot, a vacant
Hmm.
lot. That's how I
And what
started.
did you do? What did you do with that? Like, did you wind up getting it, actually getting it, and then doing something
Yes.
or selling it
So
right?
yeah, I
Share.
have a vacant lot. And so what I did was I bought one vacant lot and then I bought the rest of the whole block. So the whole block is
Ooh.
vacant because it used to be a gas station and they, tore the gas station down and everything. So I
Uh-huh.
just bought the whole lot. And my husband, he used to barbecue and
Uh-huh.
on that lot. It was really weird how I got it because it was some mess about him being on that lot with the
Uh-huh.
previous owner. So he would kind of like threaten my husband, and I'm like, you know what? We'll just buy it.
By the lie.
And when he
Yeah.
comes back around here, you just tell him to get off your land.
That's right. We own this. We own
Yeah,
this. We got
that's
papers on
ours.
this. They got papers.
Exactly.
So change
Yeah.
that. So let's talk about this. So what are the plans? A lot of the times when people are buying tax link, and then let's just talk about in your case, what are you going to do? Are you going to develop it, or are you just going to keep doing the barbecue stops
No, I
over there?
plan to develop that land, but
Okay.
right
What?
now I'm doing single family rehabs. So I'm using
Okay.
hard money. I'm using hard
Okay.
money for these rehabs for my tax sale properties. I had
Okay.
to be
Very good.
introduced to that too, how to do hard money. I was going to use my own money. So I was introduced to that. One of my mentors told me about this. So I'm like,
Yes.
I'm using the hard money and doing single families. And then I have I'm getting a multifamily
Oh,
property.
nice,
Yeah, yeah. So
nice.
I'm really stepping out there. I'm like, I
You've
see
been
what
bit
my
by the
clients are
bug.
doing. Yeah,
You've been
I
bit
see
by.
I see what my clients are doing, and I'm like, I can do this. Actually, one of my clients taught me about the tax sale.
Really?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I love it. I love it. Each one bring one and each one teach one, I say, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So with the tax liens in Indiana, you said there's two,
Yes.
and I think you mentioned they were in the fall.
Yes. So there's one in the fall. That's a treasurer sale that has a 1 year redemption period. 1 year redemption period. The bid
Mm-hmm,
starts off at the amount of taxes due. Okay.
mm-hmm,
So here's
mm-hmm,
how it works. Once we're like 3 installments behind on our taxes, your
mm-hmm.
property is subject to go to the tax sale. So,
Okay.
and I know because mine was on there before when I was in law
Mm-hmm.
school. I just forgot about paying bills. So,
Okay.
you have of course, they have a time to redeem the property to pay the taxes before it goes to the tax sale. A lot of people do. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
strategy with this is being that they have such a long redemption period, which a year isn't that long, but it's enough time to
Right.
come up with some money. So my
Yes.
strategy on that is when I'm doing my boots on the ground, or my guys do the boots on the ground because I don't go in these neighborhoods. Um, they're asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on with this house? If they
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, Miss So and so passed away, her kids don't want the property. I'm like, yes, that's one to go for because we won't have any
Fight back,
redemption.
push back. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but if you
Okay.
go past a property where it's the manner, the lawn is landscaped and this, then the other, more than likely they're going to come up with the money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a
Mm-hmm.
10% return for the first 6 months of that year and a 15% return for the latter 6 months of the year.
Okay. So
Okay.
let's go back to you. You get the property,
Mm-hmm.
and so how much money do you think you? What would be the like in the case what was the budget for your rehab? The
Well, for
budget
my
for the
from
rehab that you did when you got the tax lien, you was actually able to get the property, and
mm-hmm.
then I'm gonna fix it up, and I'm gonna use hard money to fix it up, and then I'm gonna hold it, or are you gonna sell it?
I'm gonna hold it. So I'm
Okay,
a
good.
buy and hold girl. I'm not gonna flip my properties because I'm what I'm
Okay.
doing is this is for retirement. Because what
Hey.
yeah, so what will happen is once I get older, I can sell these properties.
Mm-hmm,
And that's where my
mm-hmm.
money is because real estate appreciates
Yes, ma'am. It
and
does.
rents go up.
Rent or
Yeah.
you could, like you said, you could keep it and rent it out for passive income because it's paid
Yes.
for. So you don't have a debt to pay, and everything other than taxes is coming
Mm-hmm.
to you,
Exactly. Exactly.
right?
So
So
with
you
this
put in a
particular
portfolio.
project, yeah, with this particular project, which this house was, I probably shouldn't have spent this much money, but it's $65,000. Okay,
Mhm.
65,000. I bought this particular property for 5,500.
Oh
Now
wow.
the
Okay.
ARV on it, the after repair value is 160.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I'm
Well, you're
going to
still
cash
renting,
out refi on this one. Then I'm moving to the next one.
so you're gonna do a burr. You're gonna do the burr
I'm
method.
doing Burr. I'm doing Burr.
I like it. I like it. And
Yes.
so then you'll take those funds and then you will redirect them to another property, fix that
Yes.
up, and then it just goes on and on and on. And before you
Mm-hmm.
know it, you're sitting over there like the sneeze with a,
Yes. Yes. Yeah,
just
but we got to
cup is
start with
running
one.
over.
Yeah, we got to start with one because I'm sure they
Yes,
started with one property. So
yes.
that's what I'm doing. But I'm actually pulling out another hard money loan because even with the hard money loans, the money is a 13. I'm at 11% because I'm doing the second one. I'm
Hmm.
pulling out money to pay off other debt that's like
Hey, make it work
higher
for you.
interest rates, like
Hmm.
20% is like my American Express cards and things like that. So there is
Yes,
a strategy to what I'm doing
I
using
like
other
it.
people's money. Now,
Money.
I do always tell people because I'm going to teach about this in my course since I'm doing it. Don't believe people when they say you don't need any money to invest in real estate. If you do this
Preach,
hard
preach,
money,
sister, preach, sister,
because
preach,
yes,
sister.
I will show
Okay.
you. I'll show you my email. I have to show $30,000 in my account. Now,
Hmm.
how I get that $30,000, they're not really asking, so I can use 0% credit cards.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Pull money off of those, and if I didn't have the means to have the 30 in there are ways to do it. But
Yes.
it's no, they want to see skin in the game for these hard money loans.
Exactly, exactly. And for those of my club members who are on here that actually are flipping houses, they know exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
people when they say, "Oh, you don't need any money," well, I disagree with that. You're going to need
Oh,
some of your own money, and
yes,
then
you
you
do.
can leverage other people's money. But if you think you're coming up over here in this space with $0, I think you might go sit down until you can get your funds together and then come back.
Right.
Okay.
And then credit scores too. My credit score has to be a certain, otherwise you paying crazy interest, and or they don't
Hmm.
want to be bothered with you, especially as a newbie. They'll
Hmm.
be bothered with you if you've been doing this, you have a track record, your
Hmm.
reputation's good with them. But me
Hmm.
as a newbie, they don't know me. Even though I'm a lawyer, I have to go through it. Like they're not playing. They want their money.
They want their money, and then unless you ride with somebody else that has experience,
Yes.
then you can get
Partnerships.
on that. Yeah, the joint ventures, right? You can
Mm-hmm.
get on that way. But yes, you have to have some money. You have to have some credit, so that you can kind of get in the game. So
Yes.
that at the end of the day, if you don't want to go in with somebody else, you can do your own thing.
And another thing is because before you even get started, you got to have money to pay your contractors because they don't give you that first draw up front.
They do not. They want you
Right.
to get started, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then once you show them that you reached a certain level based on what you said in your scope of work, then they're going to come out and do a little inspection, and that's going to
Yes.
cost you too, a couple hundred
Uh-huh.
dollars or whatever, and then you roll from there.
Right.
Hmm.
Right.
Yes.
So it's not, and it's a lot that goes with this. Like I've learned how to communicate with my contractors because I really
Hmm.
wasn't communicating because I feel like what's in my head you should know, but
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
not what was going on. So I had to actually buckle down and talk and say, hey, I have these timelines and this that, and the other, and it's a lot,
And then
but
vetting
it's
your
rewarding.
contractors too to make sure
Yes.
that they stand up credible people with license, bonded, insured. And I'm not saying, I always say my electrician, my plumber, my HVAC guy, they have to be licensed. But if you can paint and you can cut into a wall and bring the ceiling to the wall, then we can go. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care
Of
about that.
course.
But
But
the
I
other
had I
people,
had some people that said that they can put flooring down, and no, it was not right. And the reason why I knew it wasn't right because I always post. I'm a part of a real estate investment association, so I'll
hmm,
post what's going on with my house, and they'll be like, "Crystal, no, that's not right." I'm like,
hmm,
"Okay, well, he's fired."
we gonna cut it quick, right?
Yeah, I don't have time. They're like,
He's
"Crystal."
fine. You gotta go. You gotta
Yeah,
go.
that's a good thing too. Having this group that you all are in, maybe
Yes,
being
sir.
a part of a real estate investment association with people that have done this, and they can tell you, hey, no, they're not doing that right, Crystal. They cutting corners. I don't want nobody cutting corners in my house. So that's why I spend a little bit more money. It's taking a little
Uh-huh.
bit more time because I want it to
Right.
be out in 3 months. It's taking about 5 months, but
Okay.
I want my stuff right.
Exactly. No shoddy work. So, Attorney Johnson, listen, I know that you're busy,
Oh
and
yeah,
I think you have agreed to come back and sit with us at the summit. And
sure.
it's gonna be. I have you on my schedule. I don't remember the day if it's the 23rd, 24th, but I'll shoot you out something. I may have already done that, but I
Okay.
love the conversations. They're so real, they're so
Yeah.
personal. And I knew it the day when I was down there. We was about to have that break that bread together. I said, I gotta get over there. I gotta get over there and
Yeah.
get with her because I gotta catch up with her because I want her to come talk to my group because she's saying some stuff we need to hear.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I'm gonna tell y'all what I've been through, what mistakes I've made, because I don't want you all to make the same mistakes. And hopefully you can teach me as well, what you all
Yes.
know.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to say to you is we're going to bring you back on the summit, and that starts the 23rd, 24th, 25th, and I'll shoot you out a text. But also, I want to get you back on a mastermind Monday to talk to the group about all the things that you just shared, but also I want to talk about the training because the
Okay.
training is so very important. I know it's a paid training, and I'm
Yes.
all in, and I want to hear more because I'm coming to Indiana, and you already told me some of the things that you can do to help my club, and
Hmm.
I want in, and I've shared it with a few already, especially when the ones that didn't get to New Orleans, and when we came back saying we had this, we did that, we did the third, oh, they was like, oh, we're
Yeah.
going the
Yeah.
next time, we're going.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they want to come to Indiana too and hook up with Attorney Johnson, and I'm gonna be the first one on the bus, as they say.
Okay. All right.
So
Cool.
so
Yeah.
thank you so much. I really appreciate. I know you were just coming out of a settlement. I'm like, oh my god, I just need her to come on and just talk for a little while. So
Yeah,
thank you
I'm
for
sorry it
joining
took
the
so
call.
long, but I
No, you're
like to
fine.
answer
I'm just
people's
grateful.
questions,
I'm just
especially when
grateful.
they're purchasing from the tax sale, because you all, I don't know if you know, like a tax deed is the lowest form of a deed. It's a clouded title. So I have to explain to people that you have to get that title quieted. You have to do another lawsuit to quiet the title. Now, some states they do the quiet title action, once they close everything out, but not here in Indiana. So a lot of people don't understand that.
Okay. Well, you know what? We're all ears. We're gonna sit at your feet and we're gonna listen to this and learn. So for those of us that's coming, we're gonna be ready to go and we're gonna have done but we're gonna do our due diligence when we get there. I'm gonna rent a Sprinter bus so we can all get on one van and conversate and talk about some of the stuff that we don't hear if we're in different cars. There's gonna be a lot of things that we're gonna do. We're gonna be just gonna tweak it
Okay.
just a little bit because that New
Okay.
Orleans thing was fire. It
It
was fire. That
was.
Norvell, that
It
guy is
was.
bad. Okay,
He
I love
is.
that
He
dude. I
is.
love that dude. He is the master of that game for sure. Right?
Yes, and we're gonna bring so many more people. We'll just
Yeah.
be a little bit more organized because I don't think we really knew who wanted, properties when we were bidding. We didn't know
Yes.
exactly who wanted the actual property. So we'll do something like a
We could
spreadsheet
tweak.
or something to say,
Yes.
okay, these people are interested in that property, and then
Yes.
we'll have it in order. We'll
Raise
have it
your
in
hand
order.
for everybody. If
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
number five, all 50 of us, you raise your hand for
Exactly.
the one. And we're gonna and Sonia was the person in our group that created a amazing spreadsheet that was
Okay.
so easy to follow, so user friendly. And because all my people know that I'm not techie, don't worry about it, North Carolina. I'm not techie, so we sat together and that spreadsheet was everything to us. So thank you, Sony, for that. But I'm gonna let my attorney go now. For those of you, you've heard her speak. She knows what she's doing and she's going to deliver. So if you're going to Indiana, you want to get on this training, I'll circle back and get with her to see what date she can come on a Monday. We can talk about Indiana. We can talk about the sale. We can talk about her training, and we're going to get on a flight and get there. How about that,
Okay.
Attorney Johnson?
Oh, no problem. And also, I want to let you all know, not only Lake County, so there's a sale in St. Joseph County. I don't know if you've heard of Notre Dame University, Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in that area, like their sale starts at like $25.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so I can show you all about that
$25.
one too. So that's an online sale as well. So they've
Mm-hmm.
been racking up out there getting land. But like I
Oh,
said, you
oh,
got to know what you want to do with those properties. And
we
make
do.
sure
So,
your land is not landlocked. So we're going to be looking at the
mm,
GIS map, things like that.
mm.
People
Oh,
say, what
yeah.
is landlocked property? You can't access it without going through somebody else's property.
Ah,
So it'll be
okay,
like
guys.
right in the middle of a forest. I've had people to purchase stuff there. And I'm like, what are you going to do with that?
What you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with it? That's why we rolling with you. So we're gonna let
Mm-hmm.
you take us to the training, and look at your calendar for like the first week or so in August on a Monday at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
We're gonna bring you back. You're gonna talk to my group, and we're gonna see how we're gonna get there in the fall to get to Indiana to hang out with you. How about that?
All right. I
I
appreciate it. I look
appreciate
forward
you
to
coming
seeing
on.
y'all.
God
Okay.
bless you. I
You
appreciate you.
too.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Take
But
care.
now we
Thank
got to
you.
go. All right. Bye,
Okay.
guys.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye, you
Attorney
all.
Johnson. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
No problem. Love you all. Bye bye.
Love you back. Bye.